We have breaking news in the NFL, y'all. Wide receiver Terry McLaurin, according to ESPN's Adam Schefter, has requested a trade from the Washington Commanders. Y'all know we're going to talk about it and break it all down right after this.
Welcome to your number one spot for all NFL news and content, NFL Central.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back into another episode of NFL Central, your number one spot for everything NFL. I'm your host here, Bobby. So if you tuned in, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Man. I ain't expect this one. I ain't even gonna lie to you. But hey, wide receiver Terry McLaurin, according to ESPN's Adam Schefter, has requested a trade from the Washington Commanders. Now, we know that early on, my man's Terry McLaurin was like, to hell with y'all. I ain't doing nothing. I'm not going to play. I'm not really going to participate in training camp. I'm going to hold out. And then he understood and probably got some advice from his agent and was like, nah, just show up. See if you can force the hand by showing up and then eventually sitting out. And yeah, he's been there for a couple days, and then they ultimately put Terry McLaurin on a pup list, pretty much unable to perform list. And yeah, after a few days of being at training camp physically, my man said, hey, trade me then. I don't necessarily know if he's serious. I'm gonna tell you what I'm thinking. I'm thinking he's trying to force the hand. That's just how that's just how I'm looking at it. I think Terry McLaurin is forcing the hand of the Washington Commanders for them to go out there and say, all right, let's go ahead and get a deal done sooner rather than later. Now, if you asking me, if you do succumb to the demands of Terry McLaurin, you are idiots as a Washington Commanders franchise. You do not get rid of Terry McLaurin by any means necessary. Like, by all costs, you should not be looking to get rid of Terry McLaurin simply because he is one of the major reasons why Jaden McDaniels was able to go out and have one of the best rookie seasons most of us have ever seen. Now, if we looking at anything, I'm saying anything can happen in this situation. Whether he planned and trying to force their hand to say, give me my money, or if they do actually move him, it can go either way. But Terry McLaurin, for the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 seasons, has been over 1,000 yards when it comes to him being a wide receiver. And the crazy thing is, he's doing this with his highest reception total being only 87 receptions. Only 87 receptions in 2022 as the highest in the last 4 years. That is crazy work. And in each of those years, he has gained over 1,000 yards. And let's consider everything when we're talking about Terry McLaurin when it comes to this specific situation. He has been a wide receiver to guys like Sam Howell and a bunch of other guys that are not even close to Jaden Daniels. So if this is one of those situations that we're really looking into and we chiming into it, bro, you have to get this job done. Because typically when we look at guys like Jaden Daniels, we look at them and there is a very strong possibility, you know what I'm saying? It can go the other way, but it's a very strong possibility that Jaden Daniels can have that sophomore slump and still make it to the playoffs potentially, but definitely can have a drop-off compared to such a high bar that he set as a rookie in this league. Now, you have to really figure this out. It is not Terry McLaurin's fault that y'all went out there and traded for Deebo Samuels and had to make him, you know what I'm saying, and pay him all that money that he was getting from the San Francisco 49ers, and you had to then take on that salary. But when you look at wide receivers that are now getting paid, Jamar Chase, 40 mil. Jay Jettis from the Minnesota Vikings. Justin Jefferson, he getting paid a bag. And you looking at guys like A.J. Brown just getting paid. You looking at guys like DK Metcalf getting paid. Terry McLaurin is right there in that second tier of the wide receivers that's around here, including CD Lamb. Terry McLaurin is right there. Regardless on however you're going to rank them on who's above and who's below, does not necessarily matter in this situation right here. Terry McLaurin absolutely deserves some money simply because we looking around the landscape of the league, and hey, it's definitely something like that when it comes to these other wide receivers that's around here. You can't simply play with this. When we talk about the quarterback, and I know that my man's, when we talk about the on-field stuff, he has shown up. Can we talk about the off-the-field stuff? Did we somehow forget, like my man Steely E in the chat talking about Daniel Snyder? Oh, my God. How bad Ron Rivera was in Washington? My God. Never really spoke out of it, never really lashed out, but helped this team catapult itself to new heights. You have to get this done. You have to get this done. Now, if we looking on the other end, if we say, all right, you can go ahead and trade him. What is the price of trading him? A second round pick? Okay, but guess what? The draft has passed. So you're not getting a return on that. And do we really believe that Deebo Samuel can carry this as a wide receiver number one? You ask me personally, I don't think so. Deebo Samuel is a really good player, but to take the Holmes as wide receiver number one, no, I will pass. If you're the Washington Commanders, you cannot allow that to happen. If you're the Washington Commanders, you have to look at this situation for what it is and say, yeah, the market has moved in another direction for the wide receivers. Terry McLaurin, what's your number? Now, if Terry McLaurin is coming in this and saying, hey, I want 40 mil, yeah, Terry, you done lost your rabbit ass mind. You done lost your rabbit ass mind. Not even gonna lie to you. You done lost your top. For real. But when you consider how much my man's Terry McLaurin is making this year, it's only about $19 million. That's it. $15 million this season. Like, nah, that ain't good for a base salary for a guy of Terry McLaurin's caliber. I'm not even gonna lie to you. You could leave that to the other wide receivers. No, he should be in the upper echelon of the wide receivers that's getting paid right now. And I'm talking about $30 million. I think Brandon Ayuk is getting around 25, 30 million. Like what? Terry McLaurin is better than that. Devontae Smith is getting around 20, 25 million. Terry McLaurin is better than that. And Devontae Smith is nice. Like, don't get it messed up. He's nice. So if you're the Washington Commanders, you absolutely have to figure out a way to let all this go away. Because me personally, if you are asking me, it's just a move to get them to pay up. But if they don't want to pay up, and if you're going to trade them, oh my God, that is a huge loss. That is a huge gamble. And I like Jaden Daniels. I think Jaden Daniels is very, very talented. It's crazy that some people put in Jaden Daniels as a top 5 quarterback already, which is absolutely ridiculous. Can we see it for another season before we crown somebody and push them up to new heights? I get it. Season 1 was really, really good. But can we see a more consistent player first? Can we gather more information? Because it was people that came out and told me Jordan Love is at the top of the league. Told me he was at the top of the league, and I flat out said, nah, we not finna do that. Then came out and said CJ Stroud is at the top of the league, and he's a really good quarterback. He took a step back last season in his second year. Still ultimately ended up in the playoffs, so you still give him some credit for that, and you say, I bet. Really high season 1, took a little small step back season 2. What you got for us now? What do you have for us now? Because now the NFL has film out on Jaden Daniels. They know what he loves to do, what he doesn't like to do, and what bothers him. and what helps him go. Those are the things that teams have had all offseason to figure those things out. And you mean to tell me that you feel like you can go ahead and play around with this and just run into the season with Deebo Samuel? No. No, 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 no. You cannot go into this season without Terry McLaurin. And even if you do decide to trade him because you want to play hardball, it'll be foolish for the Washington Commanders. Absolute buffoonery by the Washington Commanders if they even sniff or pick up a phone to try to trade Terry McLaurin. You need to find out what the number is, figure out where y'all can get to a happy medium, and get him signed up. That's it. That's it. That is it. My man Steely E joining us today. He said he love it. The football team in Washington will only be known for Dan Snyder, never will be known for football. He laughing. Terry to the LA Rams? Damn. The LA, bro. Nah, they ain't got, nah. They ain't got that much money, bro. I ain't even gonna hold you. They ain't got that much money on over there in LA. They do got a young defense. I had to look further into that, but man, yeah, I don't know. But according to Adam Schefter, giving some further reporting, said over the past 2 years, at least 3 wide receivers requested trades. T. Higgins, Deebo Samuel, and Brandon Ayuk. None were traded in the year in which they made the request. McLaurin is now the latest wide receiver to seek a trade when failing to land the contract he wanted. The biggest question of it all is how much money is Terry McLaurin trying to get? That's the biggest question. That is the biggest question of them all. For real. That is the biggest question of them all. Because if you saying that you want to go out there and receive a ton of money based on whatever it is, it ain't happening. I'm sorry. It ain't happening. Now, if we looking at contracts and we looking at wide receivers specifically, the top 5, what the hell? Hold on. My eyes might be fooling with me. The top 5 in total cash going out to wide receivers this season: Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, DK Metcalf, Justin Jefferson, and Travis Hunter, according to Spot Rack. Hold on. Travis Hunter? Yeah, that is crazy, bro. I ain't even gonna lie to you. That right there is nuts. Not even gonna lie to you. Not even gonna lie to you. But if we talking about cap hits, total cap hits, when it comes to some of the wide receivers, we're looking at Calvin Ridley at 28, Tyreek Hill at 27, Terry McLaurin at 25. So the base salary for Terry McLaurin is that $15 million, but they got 10 up front for a total of 25 this season. But I guess he's looking for long-term money, which makes sense, and what a lot of NFL players do at this particular moment anyway. That's what they do. When it comes down to that last year, guys want to get paid. You hearing it with Micah Parsons. You hearing it with Trey Hendrickson. Now you hearing it with my man's Terry McLaurin. They don't want to play a violent sport without guaranteed money. Some people do. A lot of them don't. But a player of this ilk, you got to get long term. You got to lock him in. I understand he's 30 years old. I understand he ain't got much of his prime years left. Who gives a damn? You got Jaden Daniels on this rookie contract. You got to figure it out, my boy. You have to figure it out. If Terry McLaurin does not play a snap for the Washington Commanders will not make the playoffs. I'm sticking to it. I don't care if you got Deebo Samuel, Samuel Jackson, whoever. No Commanders in 5. Hey, Shannon, I had to do it, big dog. I heard you out here. You too freaky, big. You too freaky. Too freaky, Shannon. Shannon Sharp, you too freaky, dog. You didn't cost yourself some money on. And now they talking about some more investigations. Shit. Hey, praying for you, brother. Praying for you, because I don't know. Oh, no. They out here getting Shannon Sharp for that money on. They say, are you done blew up? Shit. We on your ass. Literally. But yeah, y'all can't. Yeah, you can't. Nah, hell no. If you the Washington Commanders, you can't mess around with this, bro. For real, you cannot play around with Terry McLaurin. He is the guy. You already lost Omalade Zacchaeus. You brought in guys like Debo Samuel. It wasn't a lot of movement right there for the Washington Commanders. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Not even gonna lie to you. Not even gonna lie to you. And then I don't even think they drafted any wide receivers in this draft. Hold on. So they did draft a wide receiver in this year's draft in Jalen Lane from Virginia Tech. But let's keep it a buck. He ain't Scary Terry yet. If he's going to be that. Nah, you ain't Scary Terry, bro. You ain't Scary Terry, bro. Yeah. Typically, number one wide receivers that really, really thrive, they play for shitty teams and they ain't got no choice but to just go off. This is not a crappy team. A lot of people that's going to be playing on that opposite side of the football, they're going to be dialed in and focused, and you're going to get everyone's best shot. You're now the hunted as the Washington Commanders. You're now the hunted. You're not the hunters anymore. You are now the hunted, which is a different place to be in the NFL. A lot of teams don't overcome those stakes. But hey, we'll see what happens with this. But as of right now, Terry McLaurin, he has requested that trade. And we're going to see what else comes out of this, man. Y'all make sure y'all dial in. Hit that like button and subscribe to the channel as we continue to push out this content and getting ready for some football in just 45 minutes. 45 minutes, you get a little bit of football. It ain't gonna be the best football at the top notch, but hey, Hall of Fame game, NFL is back. Shit, we here. Can't be mad at that, right? But we here. But hey, that is it for me, y'all. If anything else pop off, we find out anything else, we'll be right here reporting on it. But make sure y'all go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, man. Thank y'all so much for tuning in into another episode. We are the number one spot for everything NFL, man. I'm Bobby, and y'all already know, man. I'm going to catch y'all on the next one. For sure.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.